News Radio WGNS, Murfreesboro. The views and opinions on this show are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of WGNS, its management, other hosts, or advertisers.
And we are on the air again. Ed Raymer with you with the Edwin Lee Raymer Show. Glad to be with you. Got two great guests with us tonight, Christian Gay and Kelly Northcutt, who are Christians in the running for the chairmanship of the Rutherford County Democrat Party. You got your mics on. You're ready to go. Jackson's on the board. How are you, Christian?
I'm doing just fine. How are you, Ed?
Cannot complain. Kelly, you've been here before many times. Welcome back always.
Well, thank you. I feel right at home.
I know you do. I hope you do. Why are you subjecting Christian, why are you subjecting yourself to this? You've had this animosity against your family long or what?
Yeah, I have. And I think they're listening, Mom and Dad are
okay.
tonight, so
good.
They now know the truth. No, I think I'm really wanting to get involved in a deeper level with this because of the people that are around me. The inspiring folks that I've seen do democratic organizing, the people I know do the work very well. And it's, I think, uniting them on a team to use their vision, to use their drive, and the excellency in the work they do to ensure that the Democratic community and everybody in our community is able to have their needs met.
You said you were tired of running against politicians. You want to run and represent. You want to run for people.
Yeah, I think one thing that we have to really focus on is not just fighting politicians all the time. That expends our resources, it expends our soul. But when we start working for the people we care about, that's when we start reaping the benefits of the kingdom work we're doing.
Very good. Kelly, you've been in this thing for a while.
Yeah, I have.
You've run for office. You've put your name on a ballot many times. Yeah. Now, what's your role here? Tell us the offices you're both running for, of course.
I'm running for first vice chair.
Okay.
And basically, that's kind of administrative, organizational. Keeping up with the work of the party and keeping us all focused on the clarity of message, who we are, what we do, and how we want to reach out to the community.
So it doesn't get lost in the shuffle. Right.
Yeah. Because most people know Democrats' ideology. We want them to be sure of what we stand for, and we want to act on that so that we're listening as much as we're talking about who we are. So we know the needs of the people of the county, and we can go out and act on what we believe in and help people. Now,
this is something that won't be, there is no early voting for this, none of this. This is going to take place. This is it's not private, it's public, but it's almost like that, and it's going to take place when? At Patterson Park, I know. But
March 18th.
March 18th.
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
Anybody who's voted, 3 in the last 5 Democratic cycles as a Democratic voter.
Yes.
Right.
Or if you are not old enough but have voted a Democrat in the last election, or you moved here recently and voted Democrat in the last election.
Right.
Come out, we'll check the voting record of the primary, and then make sure you're a Democratic voter, and then you can come vote to basically say who you want to represent the Democratic Party and be leaders in that. Very good.
Okay. Now, Christian and Kelly are going to be with us for the balance of the hour, and we're going to let Jackson go ahead and kick this thing off. But for right now, my name is Edwin Lee Raymer, and yes, I am still a private investigator. Welcome aboard.
This is the Edwin Lee Raymer Show with your host, Ed Raymer, on your good neighbor station, News Radio, WGNS Murfreesboro.
And that is a little stiff upper lip from AC/DC. And yes, this is the Edwin Lee Raymer Show, and I'm your host, Ed Raymer. This show is produced at the studios of WGNS AM 1450, 100.5, 101.9 FM right here in the heart of the great volunteer state, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Now, as you know, you can reach us tonight. You can reach Christian, you can reach Kelly, you can reach me, Jackson, with your questions, comments, ideas, or thoughts at 615-893-1450. That's 615-893-1450. And you can also send us a text to that number, and Jackson will be glad to pull it down, and we'll write it down and read it for you. For some of you who do not wish to go on the air and be heard live, and we understand there may be a reason for that, or some of you maybe it's a little bit too high or too shy. Anyway, you can also reach us, download us via the internet at WGNSradio.com. That's WGNSradio.com. And now you can watch us on YouTube Live. And Christian, Well, I'll put Christian probably knows too. Jackson, I'm going to put you on here. Tell folks how to do this, because this is something that's new. We've had some calls about this week.
So basically, we are no longer streaming to Facebook. We are going
Right.
to be streaming to the WGNS Radio YouTube.
Right.
You can find that at News Radio WGNS. And you should be able to look that up on YouTube. It should take you to the channel page, and there you will see an archive of previous shows we've done, and if we're currently live, you'll see the live show put right there. It's hard to miss.
Now, there is an icon to take it. What is this thing they can put in their phone or whatever they have?
Another thing is that the hosts can scan a QR code in the studio and share the YouTube live link to people that are still on Facebook.
Okay.
So that way, you don't have to look it up. It's just right there for you.
Good enough. But WGNS.com, WGNSradio.com, will that get them to the site, or does it be News Radio?
I don't think so. I think you need to look it up on YouTube. I think it needs to be...
Look it up on YouTube.
Yeah, look it up on YouTube.
Okay.
News Radio, WGNS, or News...
Good enough.
Yeah.
We thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you, Jackson. Does a good job as always. And so we're on YouTube now, so we're all going to be famous. And you can download WGNS, the app, and take WGNS with you wherever you go. Listen whenever you wish. Angela Bingham was here tonight when Christian and I walked in. Always a wonderful broadcast. Always a wonderful lady. Glad to know her. And does a great job with Simplicity Show here at 6 o'clock every Sunday. Join her. She's just a fine gal. And her and her sister's pretty good singers, too, the Bingham sisters. They've been around a few years, so they know their way around town. Now, as we get into this thing, Christian, seriously, you want to do this. Tell us what you want to do.
Well, I think that there are a few initiatives that I think the party as a whole we should begin looking at. I think that one of them is uncovering what our philosophical core is, and then promoting that very well. Because,
right.
I was having a discussion with Kelly and another guy who's running for officer spot, Jesse, today.
Right.
We were talking about philosophy.
Sure.
Usually Democrats want to align with the National Party's platform. And then Tennessee Democrats want to, of course, align with the state party's platform.
Of course.
And then individual Democrats, and so on and so forth.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I think that on a very, base level, all the things that Democrats agree with or promote is something that can be accepted to Tennessee Democrats. Fine.
Sure.
But I think that taking those things, making them specific to Rutherford County's needs, having a look at where we aren't building coalition very well, because a lot of the things that we talk about in the platform are, support of equity, justice, diversity.
Right.
But then our party has a hard time maybe sustaining folks that have that kind of background, who come from diverse backgrounds. So,
sure.
Going into these communities, making the effort to connect and build true relationships, that helps us not fight politicians and what they say that our issues are, because we're going right to the source about how they need us to support them. The second thing I would think is that as we go further, how we frame our messages, how we allow people to look at us
right
as partisan Democrats, not being the awful monstrosity that Republicans would like for us to be.
Sure.
But
yep.
being your neighbor.
Agreed.
We talked about
right.
trust just before we came on air.
Mm-hmm.
When we
right.
get folks to trust their neighbors, get themselves to trust themselves that they can trust their neighbor, we show by our works and our hands what we need to do for the people in our community. We show them that, and they say, you know what? Yeah, they're Democrats, but that's a good guy.
Not such a bad guy after all.
Because they get past that whole Democrat
right.
thing. After a while, it's not instant. Politics isn't popcorn. It's not instant. But
pretty good.
But it's a
pretty
work.
Good, Kelly.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah, it's not popcorn. Yeah, okay. And the Democrat Party, as I said in 1980 when we moved here, and everybody's sick of hearing it. I don't care. Go ahead and get sick of listening to it. When I moved here in 1980, this place was as blue could get. It was MTSU blue. I mean, it was blue. And we had a lot of money come to the community because of Bart Gordon. You have the Greenway today. Mm-hmm. You had so many projects. And Kelly, this is something a lot of people don't understand. It takes this influx of money, and especially now with the thousands of people that are moving here year after year after year, we're going to have those federal dollars sooner or later, and that starts at the local level. And Christian is exactly right. What do you need? Go to someone. Right. Joey Loescher, I use Joey, and I know Joey next time I see him, he may smack me for this, but he went out and he told people, I'm here running as a Democrat,
Yeah, he was a county commission candidate.
And there's, we just vote Republican. Okay, well, who's your commissioner? Well, I don't know. What's he or she ever done for you? I don't know. He said, well, look, I'll just cut to the chase. I'm a Democrat. I'm here. And the old boy did pretty good. In the very first race he's ever run in, unseasoned, didn't know the first thing about politics, but he does now, and I have a feeling he'll be back. Christian, your comment?
I think that kind of directness,
right,
it wakes up something in people.
Face-to-face interaction.
Not even that, but asking, hey, Kelly, whenever we were out and you were knocking doors, I would watch you talk to people about issues all the time.
Yeah.
They didn't always agree with you, but they did one thing that I think is more important than getting people to agree with you. They humanized you.
Right.
They saw you as a person. They don't see
exactly
you
right.
as this strange entity that sits behind this weird castle of ideas and philosophy and what right-wing media will show what Democrats are. No, we're people out knocking on a hot day in a neighborhood. It's pushing 90 degrees outside.
That's exactly right.
And, I want to be on your doorstep asking you about what you believe in.
Right.
Because then it helps us refine who we need to be thinking about.
As I call them, the coffee table issues. You sit around and you talk with people that are reasonable people, and we all will wind up talking about the same thing: good schools, good neighborhoods, safe communities, access to health care, heaven forbid. Yeah, we forget that one, and several other things. There's a top 10.
Well, one thing I'm working on now with the chair of Bedford County's Democratic Party, and a member of the Democratic Party, Laura Button. She came up to me after the volunteer brunch we had for volunteer recognition, I think last Saturday, and she came up and said, "Well, what are we doing about clean food? What are we doing about sustainable agriculture?" And I saw a new Van. Van's got a doctorate in education for agriculture, has all these degrees in agricultural structures and systems. And I went and talked to him and said, "Hey, what are you doing for your party?" And he said, "Well, I've already had meetings with Desjardins." I said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, he's on that committee." I said, "Yeah," and he said, "Well, we looked and said, well, John Rose is too." And now we're getting prepared,
right,
to put together things so we can go and talk to these staffers and talk about an ag issue. Now, it's not the prettiest thing in the world to talk about.
Exactly right. It's not sexy.
But it is something that is needed in our community.
Exactly.
Because we think about, who can grow food, how easy it is. Does anybody really want a tomato from Walmart in January?
No.
I know I don't. It's not going to incentivize me.
My wife and I were just talking about it last week. The core's as white as that handkerchief there.
Yeah.
And that's a meaningful issue to a lot of people in this county. We're still a very rural county. There's a lot of people that make their living connected to food and animal feed.
Exactly right.
And those issues are really important to them.
If you don't believe it, go to the local farmers market through the summer months right here in the square.
Beautiful site.
Yeah, and you've got folks
you can
with
have
truck
some
gardens.
awfully good produce up there, and I know Hooper Piniel loves that place up there. I hope you're listening, Hooper.
Yeah, we've got folks here that are raising cattle and raising pigs and chickens, and
it's
it's like all of that. That's a
the Beatty farm is still in existence. They're still raising it. Hey, and we've got MTSU's doing a pretty good job too. Those folks over there.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what we got to do. Kelly and Christian are going to be here with us for the balance of the hour. Jackson's going to take us to our first series of breaks, but I got a good friend. You're going to hear her ad here in just a second, and it's Celia. Celia's got some houses for sale. Currently, one of her investors is going to sell some of these properties for qualified first-time homeowners with low down payments and reasonable seller financing. If you want to buy a home, find out more by calling Celia at 615-948-6367. She's a licensed real estate agent with Benchmark Realty. She's been helping families here in Rutherford County for more than 15 years. So, Celia Snodgrass, give her a call, 615-948-6367. 7. We'll be back with you right after this. Stay with us. Hello, everyone. It's Ed with Private Investigations in Middle Tennessee. You know, if you just need someone checked out on a background check, tag them a run, or if you need someone full-fledged to follow, give us a call. You can reach me at 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219. Or check out our website at piofmt.com. That's piofmt.com.
I felt so alone, scared, angry, full of self-pity. I just wanted to die, so I took another drink. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. The people there talked about those same feelings. I was no longer alone. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living. Alcoholics Anonymous, it works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or aa.org.
Hey, this is Ed, everybody. Want to tell you about a sponsor of ours. We've got Complete Yard Care. Their slogan is, we do it all. Low maintenance landscape design, retaining walls, tree removal, stump grinding, lawns cut, mulching, landscaping. Now you can reach them at 615-785-0384. Or you can look them up on the web at CompleteYardCareTN.com. They have a 5-star ranking on Google. That's Complete Yard Care. We do it all. Go to J. Mullins Jewelers and check out their collection of reactor watches. They're located at 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And also custom-made jewelry. If you want it, they can make it for you. Also gifts for any and all occasions. Weddings, graduations, family reunions, anniversaries, all of it. That's J. Mullins Jewelers, 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Are you tired of wasting money on rent and ready to be a homeowner? Celia Snodgrass can help you do just that. She's a licensed real estate agent at Benchmark Realty who's been helping Rutherford County families find their dream homes for the past 15 years. She's also enabled many individual real estate investors to achieve financial success in Tennessee's booming real estate market. Currently, one of those investors is now selling some of those properties to qualified first-time homeowners with low down payments and reasonable seller financing. So if you're wanting to buy a home, find out more by calling Celia at 615-948-6367.
Saturday, March the 18th, come and be part of an exciting and meaningful event. The Democrats in your community are holding the Forward Together Reorganization Convention at Patterson Park Community Center. Doors open at 9 with refreshments, and convention begins at 10 and ends at noon. Are you a future leader? Do you want to be involved in your local Democratic Party? Then join us for the elections of our new Democratic leadership team. All Democrats are welcome. Don't forget to bring your photo ID and visit rcdp.org for details. See you there.
Calling all Democrats, on Saturday, March 18th, Rutherford County Democrats will be hosting our Forward Together convention at Patterson Park Community Center. All Democrats are encouraged to attend and help elect our county's new leadership team. Attending convention is the best way to get involved in Democratic efforts to organize, grow, and win. The convention doors open at 9 a.m. and starts at 10. Remember to bring a photo ID and visit rcdp.org for more information.
All right, and we are back, and Christian Gay is with us, and Kelly Northcutt, and she drug Christian up here. I don't think Christian wanted to come because he's handcuffed to the desk this week, so we're going to make it. He'll be here for the balance of the hour till 9 o'clock. We have a caller on the line, and Jackson, go right ahead. Caller, you are on the air. Go ahead, please.
Mr. Raymer, how you doing?
Well, hello. Is this Jeff?
Yeah, how you doing?
Doing fine, Jeff. What can I do for you?
I just want to say y'all were talking about the food and the energy stuff. I know the food people nowadays, when you go to these farmers markets, I've been on the square several times, and they've got everything you could ever want up there. Mm-hmm. I mean, meat, produce, all of it. They've got, one of the first times is MTSU's got dairy. It's been several years, but they've got a truck that comes up there every time, and one of the first times they's up there, they sell like these little pints and I guess gallons, and one of the first times they sold all of it out. They didn't think they was going to sell that much. They had to go back and get more. They sold it all out, the milk that they sell.
That happens pretty frequently.
They say that chocolate milk at MTSU is delicious, and I've never had a drink of it, and I love chocolate.
I lived off of it.
They sell little plain soda. They sell gallons and half gallons of it too. But I know it's in certain stores in the caddy. It's a little bit more expensive than the other stuff. But
that's fine.
They say it's local, and people. The thing about it these days is people want to know where their foods are coming from. They don't want it on some truck from California or wherever.
Well, Christian and Jackson are shaking their heads. Yes, that's enough to sell you on it right there. But I've never had. I've got to go out and get me some.
It's really good. I mean, the white milk's really good. So both of it's really good. But,
I think they're selling it at one of the markets in Las Casas, I believe.
Yeah.
They advertise here on the station, I believe. Yeah. And I need to get out there and get some of that.
People want to know where they're. I mean, farm to table. That's a big thing now. People want to know where it's coming from and what where it's grown and all that stuff. That's the big thing now. But y'all talking about other stuff. I know. I told Edwin Lee this earlier, but the city of Nashville is going to bid on the. I'm sure Kelly knows this, but going to bid on the 2028 conventions next time when they do it. Because, like I say, now, which they say it's political, I believe it. When Nashville didn't want to have the 2024, and now the states come in and said they've got to cut the size of Metro Council what they have. And all this other different stuff they're trying to do to control the states.
You think that might have been retaliatory? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, next thing they'll say there's 2 grand divisions in this state instead of 3. They'll cut it off and say it's half and half. It's 1/2, so 1/2, or East Tennessee. We'll have 2 states like Virginia, East Tennessee, and West Tennessee. It'll be 2 states,
Jeff, I want to.
Y'all have a good week.
Jeff, I want to thank Jeff. Stay on the line. No, that's all right. Are you there, Jeff?
I'm here. Go ahead.
Yeah, listen. I want you to do something for me because I'll talk to you about Wednesday. I've got a small job for you. Well, it's not really a small job. I need you to keep up with how many times George Santos lies this week. Let me know.
I can't count that high. I got a big enough lie meter for that.
I didn't mean to get you that wound up.
It'll be 10 trees by Tuesday.
I'll let you go. Thank you, Jeff.
Have a good one. I'll see you later.
Take care. Thank you, Jeff. He supports this broadcast. He supports WGNS. Christian,
nice
your thoughts? Yeah, it is. He does. He does a great job. And don't be surprised he calls me about Wednesday 318 times. That's how many times he's lied so far. So anyway, Christian, tell us more about yourself and what you're up to.
Well, how I ended up in Murfreesboro was not an accident.
Okay.
I moved out here after I finished school and settled down. And well, for now, I want to go to law school here after the term's over if I get the chairmanship of the party.
Right.
But one thing I did was I was just graduated school. I went to MTSU, got a political science degree, public policy, so I automatically know everything now, right? So
right, okay. Sure.
Yeah, but I came to a meeting, and that's why first time I ever met Laura Bowling.
Right.
First time I ever met Darlene Neal, Kathy Watts, some of these people who just have treasure troves of organizational wisdom.
And you stayed around even after meeting them and someone like Kelly.
Well,
that's amazing.
I had second thoughts after meeting Kelly, but no, actually Kelly was one of the first people I had approached in this county to help her run a race. And actually, it was weird because this woman who was extremely tall walked by me, and I leaned over and said, "Is that Mariah Phillips?" Because I worked on her campaign in 2018, 2019. Then her county commissioner race, of course, but she was the first campaign that ever paid me. And I still have a check on my bedside. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's something you don't forget the first time you ever get paid by a political candidate to run
She's
for office.
never offered to pay me anything.
No. Well, I don't.
I don't blame her, but I mean.
you got to know your worth.
Doors. That's a whole level of commitment.
Okay. Got to know your subject, I guess. Okay. I guess they're telling me something I should know.
But while Kelly was running a race and I was helping support that, I began to look in and just see how strategy was going for the party itself. What perhaps we didn't have bandwidth to focus on. Where we were kind of a little weaker, and it's not any one person's fault. It's never one person's fault when a collective group is maybe not living up to its standard itself for itself.
Sure.
There comes a time where you come back and you focus,
sure,
and you regroup. And you do it again.
Exactly.
Especially after some of the losses that we had gotten for county commission races, state houses. I think that was a pretty big wake-up call to see where we really are. on a party level to see how good the apparatus works, how good we are at messaging, how good we are at turning out voters. And I was talking to, I don't know if you know Linda Sullivan or Chloe Cerruti.
Yes, okay, yeah, sure do.
But when we were starting to get together to talk about, people running for chair and, should we do this type of stuff.
Sure.
She brought up an article that talked about Texas's, I think it was their midterm elections.
Right.
May have been the general elections, I don't remember which, but there was an interesting thing that talked to a Democratic voter, and it was someone who would traditionally be a Democratic voter there, Hispanic, younger, male.
Right.
And they said, well, are you going to go vote? And he said, well, no. Okay, why? Well, it's not that my vote doesn't matter. It's not, I know my vote can matter. But if the person I gets into power and they win, will it change anything?
Good point.
Will it change anything?
Good point.
What does that show about perhaps how we are?
It's a good point.
What does that mindset ever come into Tennessee Democrats? Because if there are a lot of us out there, like I hear that there are, how do we show them that we are the people that we say we are? How do we live up to what we put on paper?
Good point.
And I've heard that comment mostly from younger people. It's like people talk about voter
apathy. And
you can't
blame them, Kelly.
Exactly.
You can't blame them.
And it's because they don't feel heard. The issues that are important to them, they don't see anybody taking action on. And now some of that, you can't take action as far as legislation until you get into office.
Sure.
But, we can do things at the county level, at the local level, to show that we put our money where our mouth is, that we put our boots on the ground, our hands and feet working towards fulfilling our ideology, that it's not just doublespeak, it's not just worthless words. And that's what we need to do to establish that presence and that trust with the community that we feel Democrats will serve better.
Well, and here's another thing. After the election, everybody parts ways. Okay, that's it. Okay, so you lost. Get out. No. Let me tell you something. Kathy was here last week, Kathy Watts, and Morgan Woodbury. And we talked about this. We had some candidates. We took basically a couple of seats. Ramel McMurray got one. He's independent. Okay. And then Hope Oliver.
Right.
She won LaVarn.
Yes, as a county commissioner.
And I'm telling you, that was a couple, one or two. I'll take them one or two at a time. It's all right. It takes time to build back.
Yeah.
And Christian's exactly right. We've got to fall back and regroup every once in a while. Everyone does. And, when you've been told that, no one wants to hear what you've got to say, quit wasting everybody's time. No, you quit wasting everyone's time, because we're going to be a party that gets things done. Now, how do you do that? Unfortunately, for most things to get them done, it's going to take cash. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but we've got a governor who's turning down federal dollars that have already been paid, and that directly affects our local community.
Not just for health care, but for schools now.
For schools and everything, yeah.
And even so, they've started to try that rebrand or the re-look at how they fund schools.
Yeah.
TISA.
Yeah.
And it's still just nightmarish, the missteps. Whenever we think about how politics are organized in general, Kelly and we were at that meeting today, we were talking about, sometimes it's not that, people maybe don't try something, or that people maybe overlook something. Sometimes when some of the biggest disasters or some of the biggest losses happen in politics, it's because of neglect.
Right.
It's not because that, we didn't try. No, it's because that sometimes there were things that we could have focused on better. Communities we could have focused on better.
We should have been proactive instead of reactive.
Perhaps.
We should have been looking for this to come.
And
you should have been warned.
And I'm not saying this about the Democratic Party in general. I'm saying just about how governments gain their right to govern, about how parties make differences in people. We talk about negligence, we talk about the Flint water crisis.
Right.
We talk about the Ohio train derailment, 3 Mile Island, stuff like that.
Right.
Those big disasters in history that had missteps in it because the apparatus that was supposed to be helping those things run along wasn't working properly. The Democratic Party here has a chance to make a difference. not just by winning elections, but by showing people that their neighbors care for them again, by
Right.
showing people that politics matters, that the people that you work with on a daily basis may not think the same way you do, but they're still human beings in a democratic society.
Right.
So you have to work with them. That's the beautiful thing about democracy, is that it doesn't work unless all of us work together.
Well, and here's the thing, too. And I've had Sheriff Fitzhugh on, Mike Fitzhugh, High Sheriff of Rutherford County.
Yeah.
You know, one thing you've got to do, you got to realize people that may be sitting in jail, most of these people are our neighbors
Oh, yeah.
to some extent.
And they're going to come back to their
And
community.
I have people, we do background checks in the business I'm in, private investigative work, and you got a guy here, 45 years old. You do a background check, say for work. All right, we all know the story. 18, 19, busted, bag of pot in the car. Okay, he had one beer too many. Please don't judge him on that one incident. This is a different person today. That man or that woman has probably been judged on that one incident for the last 20 years of their life. Today, been married, got 2, 3 children, working a job, had the same job for 15, 18, 20 years. You know, this is a different individual you're talking about. And to go to those people and say, you know what, partner, we need your help. We need your voice. And yes, we need your vote.
Yeah, there are people you don't give up on.
That's exactly right.
There are communities you don't give up on. They may
That's
seem
right.
disconnected. But there are external factors too that play into why people do the things they do.
Right.
And oftentimes, if you're not being proactive in doing it, making sure there's a process in check, making sure that you're doing things right,
Right.
whatever that process agreed on by the group is.
Yeah, and folks, understand, we're
know?
not trying to be a bunch of rebel rousers here. But if you want to get a county commission's attention or a city council, get you a group of people and go to a meeting.
No, I'm trying to be a rebel rouser. I'm just saying.
Well, that's all right. I'll take it.
I
You know,
hold very,
I'll stand
very
beside you.
closely to Representative John Lewis's that sometimes you need to get into good trouble, and I think that's exactly what we need to
Maybe
do.
we do.
We need to shake
Maybe
things
we
up.
do.
And it's not that anybody had had bad plans, and I think a lot of
Right.
we've had good ideas, but we haven't had, and it's not even just about money, Ed. It's about people. And the more people that get involved, the more we can do. We can fulfill these good ideas that we've had and bring them to bear. And I think that underscores our beliefs even more so. Not only that we're going to be there to listen to what people need, but that we need people in order to address these needs. So and even to deciding who's going to be in office and chair the party and be the officers for our party, if folks show up to be on the executive committee or even to just volunteer whatever time they have. People have busy lives. It's hard to keep up with
That's
politics.
true. That's
and,
true.
and so anybody that shows up and wants to volunteer, we will find a way to use the time that you have to give.
But do understand that you're more than a volunteer. That's one thing that I have noticed for forever.
You're a member.
Is
Yeah.
You're a human being, and you're valued because of the things that you bring to your community, the things that you want to bring, the differences you want to make in that small act of writing a postcard or in holding a sign for a candidate.
That's exactly
I
right.
will refuse to look at people as a label. I want to look at them for what makes them them, because that's what makes Rutherford County a beautiful community. It's the
does.
things that people bring. That's how you get over fighting politicians. When you understand the people who are on your side, it's simply called a power analysis. But when you look at folks and say, hey, this person? I sure enough do. Carolyn Cox, for
Yeah.
example. I work with
No,
Carolyn.
Carolyn. Yeah. Sure.
Wonderful. Love that lady to death.
A worker.
Oh, yeah.
She's
Now,
a worker.
The other day I walked up to her and I said, hey, I'm trying to plan a community summit for the Democratic Party. I want folks from different backgrounds and communities to come together, get their leaders and their representatives come out. I want to have a talk. I want to know now
Right.
what we can do to ensure that the people that we want to work for in the next 2 years and the 2 years after that they're heard now. I said, can I get Pastor Settles from the NAACP? Can I get his number? Here you go.
Well, you should have called me. I've got it. I'm giving it to everybody.
And I messaged him. He said, you know what? I'll be there. Or
Sure he
I'll
will.
try my best to send a
David will
representative.
be there.
And you know
Yes.
what?
Yeah.
It's that kind. It's that reaching out.
Yeah.
When you don't know, taking a chance.
Making
Right.
those connections.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, folks, in spite of all of this that we're talking about and everything, I have some bad news for you. I really do. Now, Kelly's not going away, but this young man that's here tonight, he ain't going away. He is not going to go away.
That's the good news.
I know, but I mean, I had the door double locked tonight, and he got in. I don't know how he got in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're right. You're approaching this from a leadership stance instead of an ideal. I've got ideals of what this world should be like and all that. No, you've got to get focused.
You can take your you can take your principles and stand on the sidewalk.
That's
and
right.
We'll see how far it gets you.
Right.
But then we have to learn how to get our hands wet. We
That's
gotta
right.
learn. We gotta learn to do the dirty work.
You got to get your fingernails dirty.
Because steel sharpens steel.
That's right.
What if we go to these communities and say, well, you're not doing right by us the way that you think you should be doing for us?
And instead of turning around, well, we're sorry. Just say,
No,
hey,
listen.
no, please. What do you need? What do you want?
Yeah.
My father's
What can we do? How can we help?
My father's a minister, and he had been
You too?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He told me when I was growing up. I remember sitting at the table. He said, "Son, you think gonna be in politics? You're gonna be a pastor." And I said,
No.
well, I guess
the
we've
whole
chosen.
family thought of me.
Yeah.
I've said before, I stand up. A lot of people will, when I said, I'm a son of a preacher. Now, y'all thought I was going to say something else, didn't you?
Yeah.
Sometimes those two things go hand in hand.
They might rhyme once in a while. Love you, Dad.
Your dad's listening tonight.
I know he is.
We love you,
I
sir.
know, but
we love you,
that's
Pastor.
he's
Yeah.
part of the reason. Because I asked him once. I said, Dad, we're
Right.
working in big groups of adults, because adults are hard.
Yes.
Adults are very
Yes.
complex and
Very
nuanced
much.
folks. And I said, well, what do you do in leading big groups of people? And he said, son, just listen and move slowly.
Right.
Just listen.
And if he's been in
Slow.
church like my dad has been, my mother and father had been, it can be. Church folks can be a whole different ballgame.
Because no matter how you cut it, some folks can easily look at the work we're doing and say it's doing kingdom work.
Right.
We're doing that work to help build better communities, build strength in
Right.
communities, and love our fellow man,
And I
regardless
think,
of the obstacle.
Something you said earlier was for people to have trust in each other again. Mm-hmm. We've been told so long, they're coming for your guns. I'll have fun with it, and I probably shouldn't do it. I did it one night on Facebook. There was a man the other morning at 1 a.m. that was knocking on the door and had a cardboard box, and it said gun collection in it. I ran and retrieved my .357 Magnum. As I got back, he was gone. It's just making up just anything. Mm-hmm. That is not happening. To get people, hey, sorry to bust your bubble, but what you were talking about, that's not happening.
No.
Well, if you're arguing politics, it's really easy to paint everyone that believes differently than you with the same broad brush.
Well, exactly,
but
Kelly.
If we're out in the community and we care about what people have to say, we listen to them and we find out what their needs are. It's like there's not a litmus test. You don't have to show your bona fides that you voted for Democrats the last 3 elections like you do, to come and vote for your Democratic leaders. So that community needs the same thing no matter how they feel about the issues. And the thing is, once you know somebody, it's a whole lot harder to believe what somebody else has told you about them. Right. So it's important not to demonize people that you've heard believe differently, because we're all just people with our, we have our own frame of reference, our own set of our own philosophy, and that doesn't make you a bad person. That makes you a person that thinks differently.
Sure, you just have some different thoughts.
And don't get it twisted. These ideas that I think all of us have in the Democratic Party, this vision, it's not new. The people I've been working with, these are the shoulders of the giants I'm standing on.
Right.
It's just that we live in this immediacy of now.
Right.
So I mean, it's not anything new. It's just something we have to exercise.
I want to say something to people like Jeff Neal, and we were talking before. We always have our guests get here, try to about 30 minutes or so before we go on the air. And I mentioned this to Christian and Kelly. There are so many of you, and I have family do this. You listen every week. You never call. You never write in. You never complain, yay or nay. And I want you to know you are appreciated. I want you to know that. You really are. And I appreciate your support. I run into you on the street. I run into you at different type meetings and things. And I know this week, hey, I was listening to y'all Sunday night. Yeah, those people got some pretty good ideas. No kidding. They really do. And we appreciate you. I want to tell you something else about some friends of mine. friend of mine is Celia Snodgrass, and I want you to call her at 615-948-6367. Now, she's a licensed real estate agent at Benchmark Realty, and she's been helping Rutherford County families find their homes for the past 15 years. Now, currently, one of her investors is selling some of their properties. These are good properties, too, to qualified first-time homeowners with low down payments and reasonable seller financing. Check it out. Give Celia a call. You'll hear her ad coming up here in a minute. 615-948-6367. We'll be back for our last segment right after this. Jackson's taking us to our last set of breaks. Thanks for listening. Stay with us. Hello, everyone. It's Ed with Private Investigations in Middle Tennessee. You know, if you just need someone checked out on a background check, tag them a run, or if you need someone full-fledged to follow, give us a call. You can reach me at 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219. Or check out our website at piofmt.com. That's piofmt.com.
I felt so alone, scared, angry, full of self-pity. I just wanted to die, so I took another drink. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. The people there talked about those same feelings. I was no longer alone. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living. Alcoholics Anonymous, it works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or aa.org.
Hey, this is Ed, everybody. Want to tell you about a sponsor of ours. We've got Complete Yard Care. Their slogan is, we do it all. Low maintenance landscape design, retaining walls, tree removal, stump grinding, lawns cut, mulching, landscaping. Now you can reach them at 615-785-0384. Or you can look them up on the web at CompleteYardCareTN.com. They have a 5-star ranking on Google. That's Complete Yard Care. We do it all. Go to J. Mullins Jewelers and check out their collection of reactor watches. They're located at 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And also custom-made jewelry. If you want it, they can make it for you. Also gifts for any and all occasions. Weddings, graduations, family reunions, anniversaries, all of it. That's J. Mullins Jewelers, 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Calling all Democrats, on Saturday, March 18th, Rutherford County Democrats will be hosting our Forward Together convention at Patterson Park Community Center. All Democrats are encouraged to attend and help elect our county's new leadership team. Attending convention is the best way to get involved in Democratic efforts to organize, grow, and win. The convention doors open at 9 a.m. and starts at 10. Remember to bring a photo ID and visit rcdp.org for more information.
Are you tired of wasting money on rent and ready to be a homeowner? Celia Snodgrass can help you do just that. She's a licensed real estate agent at Benchmark Realty who's been helping Rutherford County families find their dream homes for the past 15 years. She's also enabled many individual real estate investors to achieve financial success in Tennessee's booming real estate market. Currently, one of those investors is now selling some of those properties to qualified first-time homeowners with low down payments and reasonable seller financing. So if you're wanting to buy a home, find out more by calling Celia at 615-948-6367.
Saturday, March the 18th, come and be part of an exciting and meaningful event. The Democrats in your community are holding the Forward Together Reorganization Convention at Patterson Park Community Center. Doors open at 9 with refreshments, and convention begins at 10 and ends at noon. Are you a future leader? Do you want to be involved in your local Democratic Party? Then join us for the elections of our new Democratic leadership team. All Democrats are welcome. Don't forget to bring your photo ID and visit rcdp.org for details. See you there.
All right, and we are back. And Jackson, thank you for being on the board tonight. Kelly Northcutt is here. Christian Gay is here. Tell us one more time what you're running for. And all our sponsors, thank you all so much. We appreciate you. Christian, what are you doing up here? Tell us.
Well, I am running to be chair of the Democratic Party in Rutherford County.
Okay.
And, you know, I know Kelly can speak for herself, but I heard a lot that from people who have been in leadership positions, but especially leadership now, they say, well, behind every chair is a good former vice chair, or a good former chair as vice chair.
Former chair as a vice chair. Yeah. And that's what you've got.
Absolutely. I think the knowledge I've learned from people and still learn from people is just invaluable.
Right.
Because I don't know if it's any apparent or not, but they've been alive a little longer than I have.
Sure.
And know things that I can't know yet.
Right. Yeah. And Kelly, you have held the position before.
Yes, I served for half of a term. I guess right before Kathy's term. Yeah.
Right. Can be a bit of a thankless job at times, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, completely thankless. But you don't do it for the thanks. You do it for moving things forward, for organizing, for making a difference. You know, it's like if you're looking for thanks, you need to get into a different line or
I heard
deliver flowers or something.
I heard President Obama say once, he was talking to a political science group, kids they had brought to the White House or somehow or another, they got together, and he said, if you're going to get into this game and you think you're going to always win, he said, you better think again. He said, you might ought start selling cars or selling houses or something right now.
Right.
We have a caller. We have a caller on the line. Caller, go ahead, please.
Hi there, Edwin Lee Raymer.
Yes.
And hi, Christian. Hi, Kelly. And I'm not thinking about that. I actually did. I think I ran into you one time at the. It was one of the rallies, I think, at the Patterson Park Community College before the elections.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's really my name is Ethan Schmidt. I'm from.
Ethan.
Yeah, sorry, I should have said that first.
Okay.
I remember meeting you, Ethan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, wonderful, thank you. And anyways, I actually just transferred to Middle Tennessee State University about 9 months ago. So I'm just still in my first. So I'm actually I'm technically a senior. I'm probably going to be here. I'm going to be here for about another year and a half. And anyways, I'm really interested in podcasting and whatnot. And that's actually that's kind of how I met Christian too. Was he stopped by my podcast, The Kennel. My DJ name at my former school was Big Dog Ethan. So The Kennel's kind of an extension of that.
That's nice. Yeah.
Well, that's what they call me around here is the big dog. I'm the only I'm the only broadcast that plays a disclaimer. They have to play that. I'm mighty proud of that. I'm scared of something.
Yikes. Okay, I'm tripping on your toe. Oh my gosh. Well, I am so sorry, Mr. Big Dog. Hey, listen, I'll tell you this. The Big Dog name really actually came naturally from my friendship with Jay Duda back at so I'm actually from St. Louis, Missouri, and I went to an all-boys high school there, St. Louis University High School. And anyways, my one of my best friends, Jay, and we both had big dogs, and we just started calling each other Big Dog in the hallway, and it just kind of went from there. Then we started our own podcast, too. So anyways, started to trip on it. My gosh. Well, anyways, I guess I just wanted to call in and I guess ask what kind of so Christian, you're already so you've already announced that like you're really going to be like the chair of the Democratic Party now, correct?
Plan on it, yeah.
He's running for it.
Yeah,
It's an elected
position.
Yeah, he's got to get voted in, right?
You can show up and elect him.
Yeah, we got to plan on it.
Oh,
yeah. That's right.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay, okay, got to vote. Okay, wonderful. Well, here's the deal so yeah, I definitely would love to do that then, and I'll be sure to do that. And I told Christian about my voting record. Hopefully it's a thumbs up for y'all, but anyways, so I guess my only question is, in terms of policies, what are you thinking about trying to make for like the center of the of the Rutherford County Democratic Party?
There are core principles.
Thank you for your call.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Yeah.
No problem.
Bye.
Thank you so much. And I know Christian appreciates your support.
I
do
do.
too.
Ethan is
Thank you.
Kelly's too, by the way. Kelly, yes. And question goes to Kelly as well. But yeah, that's yeah. All right, thank you so much, man.
Thank you, Ethan. We appreciate it so much. I do remember meeting him. I think I do. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Christian.
There are core things that Democrats believe. Gay rights.
Right.
Equal rights under the law, especially when it comes to people getting into these subjects and policy subjects like sentencing, crime, whatever else. But looking at Rutherford County and our demographics,
right?
You hear at least they used to say it, that Tennessee is 3 grand divisions.
Right. Yeah.
Well, Rutherford County is kind of similar to that. There's a lot of I think it shows perfectly kind of the urban and rural divide on a very macro or very micro level that has been something that since the country was founded has been a huge thing in contention. So how does Rutherford County then respond to the needs of Rutherford Countyans?
Yeah, because if you go out of Rutherford County, all of a sudden you're into an agricultural district.
That's right. Or even I remember we were
even within Rutherford County.
I remember
you go out of Murfreesboro.
We were going
Smyrna.
We were going canvassing for Kelly, and we were right in town. Biden-Harris signs. Turn down a street, boom, Trump flag. And it's like, this is so weird for this being proximity, but looking at policy issues, I would think that ag is going to be like kind of a hidden treasure for us, because I think the Democratic Party needs one thing right now, and that is a win.
Sure,
we need a win.
Right.
And that doesn't mean that another side loses something. That is zero-sum thought. That doesn't work in politics today, baby. No. Not at all. If we get a win, and let's just say what I was telling you about at the very top of the show, talking about going to speak to Rose and Desjardins on the Ag Committee, we get that done and say, hey, these are the things in the Farm Bill that you guys only reconsider every 5 years that we see in Rutherford County. Will you sign this? Here's the information. Sign on to it, please. We'd appreciate it.
Right.
And that comes from just one member of the party saying, hey, I believe in this issue. That's why, as hopefully working with the team that we're going to have, we create a local issues committee in the party that gets people who are really interested in policy ideas, who in these issues that we're having to deal with on a more countywide level, and we go out and we research them, we look at them, we see how democratic governance fits into these things, and so agriculture is going to be one that I think that we can take a second look at.
Sure.
Because it's not hot. It's not sexy. No.
It's not.
But it's important.
It is exactly like Stephen Reynolds got into with infrastructure. It's just not glamorous.
No.
Right,
it's
but
not.
It's necessary, and those are the things that affect people every day. It's like the potholes on I-24. It's like if you run into that same pothole and you've gotten a flat tire or a bent rim, it's like that hits your pocketbook in a way that it doesn't have to be sexy. That's I can't make the rent, or I've got to ask somebody.
And that's what I post when I do my Facebook post. You're welcome to give us a call 893-1450, area code 615, of course, with your questions, comments, or ideas. I know what you like. I know what you dislike. What are your ideas to make it different?
To make things better for people. Right.
Have you proposed anything? Yeah. Well, here's an idea. And they all don't come to fruition. I understand that. But, man, you get one or two that does, and it's a beauty.
Well, and sometimes, you plant the kernel of an idea, and it might take a while to work out how to address that. But if it's important and you're still working on it, it's like that's something that you can make small forward motion on, or at least, keep in mind and keep working about how you can make a difference on that, and address it with people that are in the legislature that have the ability to pass a law or to change a law to make it so it doesn't hurt people that they hadn't considered.
Exactly.
I think the essence of all of our actions is that Democrats care.
Right.
And that is basically we're a party for people, for all people, and for lifting everybody up. And I think that's the core of everything else branches out from that.
But Christian said it a while ago, and the wife and I were talking about this just a week or 10 days ago. Who wants a tomato from the neighborhood grocer in January? I tell you, make a BLT, gotta wait till spring, man. You know? I'll grow you some good tomatoes. My wife's getting ready to retire, bless her heart.
Uh-huh.
And she's already said, we got to get seeds planted because I've eaten this junk, And, man, let me tell you something.
Oh, there's nothing like a homegrown tomato.
There is nothing like homegrown tomatoes and lettuce and spinach.
That first BLT of the season. Oh, my goodness.
Man. Yeah, and you can take that pork juice, all that bacon juice, and it's juice, by the way. It's not fat.
No,
it's
juice now.
And, Emerald Agassi said that once I saw him. He was pouring it over a salad. I said, that's what Mom and Dad did with poke salad. That's what we called it, man.
Poke
It's not.
salad.
That's nothing. And I saw one lady, and that is a meal that's fit for a king. What are you talking about? I was eating like a king when I was a kid. We just, put a little bacon in there with that poke salad, put you an onion in there. Man, you're talking about good.
But one thing Ethan asked that I have done reflected on when it comes up planning for the party. Mm-hmm. They asked me plans and ideas, and I sit and ponder for a second. I say, well, you want me to make them without you?
Right. Yeah.
What are your plans to do this? What are your plans to do that? Well, you want me to just tell you something without even consulting you first?
Right.
So that's one thing that I think should be an expectation is that this party, its leadership, its members are going to listen.
Mm-hmm. Sure. And what is the downside to an idea? Does it have a downside? Mm-hmm. Because it may. We want to hear that.
Exactly.
Not,
absolutely.
Well, that's just a stupid idea. Well, why?
Why? Why is it?
That's just a stupid idea. Because it doesn't fit into you're in the gun business, and it doesn't have anything to do with. By the way, how young can you be to buy a gun? Now they're wanting to go to 18.
15,
I say just
16.
take it to 6.
2. I don't know. What are they?
I don't know about 6.
I think they issue one after you come out of the womb. I'm not.
So you want to know where we stand there, folks? There you are. I mean, I won't be. It's gotten ridiculous. It really has. I admire you for what you're doing. Folks, I want to tell you something you're going to be hearing from this young man for many years to come, I hope, because we need him. We need more like him, and we've got him here. And I'm telling you, some of them have passed through here just through MTSU, and they've worked this board. I've worked with some of the best. I got one sitting here right now. He ain't bad himself. Jackson ain't bad. He ain't bad. And that's all you're going to get. That's all you're going to get until you're gone. That's all you're going to get until you get out of here. And Kelly, as I've said, folks, if you want to make a difference, put your name on a ballot. Mm-hmm. And these folks are doing it, and I admire it. Thank you both so much for being here. Christian Gay. Okay. Now, when will this vote be? I know it's in the ad we're running, but tell us what date that is and what's going to happen. They're going to open the doors at 9 at Patterson Park.
9 a.m. Patterson Park, March 18th.
Yep.
Okay.
And basically, if you've voted Democrat in the last 3 elections, then you're a bona fide Democrat, and you can come and vote for the officers of the party.
There'll be food.
There will be food. Yeah, we have we'll have a food table, and basically anybody that shows up and meets those requirements can vote for the officers that will lead the party and decide, along with all the members, the direction of the party for the next 2 years.
Exactly.
And there's opportunities. If you don't want to run for office, you can run to be on the executive committee, or you can volunteer to be on a committee that you feel moved to act on, even if you're not on the executive committee. Yeah. So there's a lot of ways to make a difference, and we need everybody that wants to make a difference to show up.
We'd love to get to know you.
Kelly Northgood, come on out the 18th at Patterson Park at 9 a.m. Get you a donut, some coffee. They'll take care of you, feed you. Till next week, this is Edwin Lee Raymer saying thanks for joining us. And until next Sunday at 8 o'clock, I'll catch you down the road. Good night, everyone.